Hi everybody, it's Jill Blanchett with Green Thumb Stampers. It's time for another Finally Friday video. This week I'm going to show you a technique. It's a version of spotlighting, and I just want to kind of give you guys some different techniques to do. So I've been scouring around out on the internet for different some oldies but goodies kind of stuff, new things if I can find some, and I found this, and so I just thought that you might like it. It's another way of giving life to the background of the cardstock, but yet focusing, spotlighting on the main images. So hang on and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Today I'm going to show you guys a technique that is a version of spotlighting. So we're going to stamp our images and then go back and heat emboss where the image would have gone over onto the dark cardstock. So let me get my tools out and get you going, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper just for my overstamping. I have a piece of the Starry Sky, it's one of our new in colors this year, cardstock, and this is going to be our dark base, and that is just a 5 1/4 by 4-inch layer. And then I have the basic white that I've cut at 2 1/2 just because I want a little bit more. You can make it smaller if you want, but I do want to have a little bit wider piece over here. I've been scouring for fun new ideas to resurrect in techniques and such, and the person that I saw that was doing this, they used a 2 3/4, but I didn't want mine to be that narrow through here, so I went down to 2 1/2. So I got a 2 1/2 by 5 1/4 because I wanted to go to the top and to the bottom. So I'm going to get my stamp out from the color and contour set. I will show you this one, and I'm just using the flower. I'm going to use the outline of the flower, and I'm going to do it in Memento Black. I gotta find a block. So using our black ink, we're going to stamp all over this piece of paper. The key to this technique is you want to make sure you're stamping off the paper, because you need to go over into the border area of the cardstock. And so this one, I'm just going to randomly, strategically, I don't want all just little pieces of flowers on my paper though, so I'm going to try and make some fuller flowers on the paper. Oops, that one didn't come out very good because I wasn't on my... I guess that's going to be good. So we've got all of our base flowers stamped. I'm going to wipe that off because now we're going to come through with our Versamark on the dark paper. So let me get my tools over here and I will show you how we're going to do that. Alright, I have my Stamparatus out. And you're going to want to take your dark piece of cardstock, and I've made a little dot in the corner so that I know where I've lined it up at. So I'm going to hold it down with the magnets on the left side. I'm going to start over here. So I'm going to take my embossing buddy or any type of your anti-static powder that you use to keep your embossing powder from sticking anywhere else. And I'm going to line that back up again. All right. So I'm worrying, so when I do it again, it's my 2 upper corners that I am going to be concerned with. The bottom, I don't think I can be as concerned with where they're at. I'm going to line up my 2 upper corners. I guess I'll check the bottom at the same time. So take your paper and put it back down on the top of your dark colored cardstock. Line it up where you want it so that you know. And so I'm going to make a couple little marks on my paper just so I know that I'm lining it up the four corners here. All right, then you're going to take your block. So this, you do a lot of cleaning, you do a lot of starting and stopping, but it's kind of a fun technique. So I went ahead and said I was going to show you guys because it was fun and neat in the end. I'm going to line up my stamp over the top of this the black that we've already put down. Close your lid and pick up the stamp and then remove the white. Ink your stamp up with your Versamark. I think I'm still in frame. Close it down. So then you want to put your embossing powder on it. So remove the paper. Put your embossing powder on it. I have white here. And then you'll want to heat that with your heat tool. So I'm going to pause you again while I go do that. Then you just want to keep repeating those same steps till you've gone all the way around the card on both sides. So I'm going to glue it back down. You may want to add more of your embossing buddy here and there while you're doing this. You don't have to do it every single time, but you will want to make sure that you have enough on there so that your fingerprints are not going to stick powder to them. So I'm going to line that back up with the little dots that I got down there, because see, when we're done, these are going to line up. You're going to match them all up. So I'm going to go ahead struggling here. There we go. That one doesn't look too bad. Stick that back down. Now you want to clean your stamp off. Just because while you're lining it up, you don't want to touch down. I've tried this a bajillion times and I'm finding things that I didn't want to do, so I started over, or shouldn't have done, and that kind of thing. So cleaning the stamp between them is very, very helpful. Otherwise, when you set it down, if there's any residue on here, right now it's going to touch there, and if I don't have it in the right spot and I move it, when I actually end up closing the lid down on it and picking it up, I'm going to have possibly like a double image on the dark cardstock. So, you know, it was just something that a tip that I picked up while I was trying this. So, and I close the lid down. Oh, I should get out my tool. You guys, I got a fun tool. I'll use it on the next one. I'm going to take them off. Put my powder on. And then go heat it up. Now I've done this whole side. You can see this one is not done correctly or completely, but I'm going to cover it up. So I didn't care. I was okay with not getting all the powder and everything on there. So I'm going to put it back down again. I'm going to put some more embossing powder or embossing buddy, anti-stick powder on this side. With all the handling I've done of it, I can see that it's starting to stick in some places that I don't want it. So what I've done is I also took my sand eraser and I was able to erase gently a few of the little dots that got where I didn't want them. So I just took my sand eraser and I was able to remove some of those spots that I didn't want on there. So you can give that a try if you get some that you don't want. Then I'm going to line it back up again and start on the next side. So I'm going to put my try and line up this side over here just to make sure that I'm where I want to be. Clean my stamp off again. Then I'll come back over on this side and I find that little, oh, that's this one. Line it up. The beauty of the polymer stamps, you can see through them really good. And I'm going to pick it back up. Ink it. Close it down. Put my powder on it. And then heat it up. Alright, so I'm back again. Heated that one up, and I forgot to show you guys my smoosher tool. That's what I hear a lot of people call them, smoosher tools. So let's line this up. I got the wrong side up. Let's line this up. That's another good thing to watch for. Make sure you got the right side showing or pointing to the top. Put this down in place. I'm going to wash off my stamp and lay it down on there. This one. Go right there. We're going to close it down to pick it up and remove our stamped piece. Ink our stamp, and here comes our smoosher tool. So this is kind of like the thing you hold on to for an air hockey game. My friend Kathy's son made this, and you can find them online, a lot of different varieties and styles, and make your own. But we got these, and you just want to go around and smush. This gives you even pressure on your stamp to make sure that you're getting a complete image. So I just wanted to show you my little smusher tool and how fun that was. And we're going to powder it up. And then I'm going to go heat it. Alright, I've got them all done now. And I'm just going to take a cloth and try and buff up the paper just a smidge. See if I can get some of that, the white powder off, or the white anti-stick powder, not the, when I called it powder, I didn't want you to think I meant the embossing powder. The anti-stick powder kind of leaves a white film on there, so I'm just wiping it off to kind of shine that back up again. So now this is what your base is going to look like. And again, it's ugly right there, but it's going to be covered up. So you just want to make sure that you've embossed all your pieces off to the side, heat emboss them, and then now you can continue by stamping your images with whatever else you're going to do. You can stamp them, you can watercolor them, you can, I don't know what else you could do. You could do whatever you want with them. Pigments, anything you can do to snazz it up a little bit. So I finished this piece off. I stamped the flowers in a couple different colors. I went through with some of the splatter marks and filled in the white space, and then I used my blender brush and blended up the centers of the flowers. And then from there, we're just going to line it up, and then you glue it down to your card front. So we're going to glue that down. See where we got. I should have got my Stamparatus back out and lined it up on there, shouldn't I? would have known exactly. I can do that. I would have known exactly where I would have wanted to put it, because I got those lines on there. So we want to go right about in there. Oops, wrong side. Right about in there. And then I can fiddle with it from there just to make sure that we've got it going. So then from here, guys, you're just going to go ahead and finish your card off however you'd like to finish your card. I did mine sideways like this, wrapped some ribbon around it, but this is the whole idea with the technique, is to do some spotlighting off the side on the dark cardstock so that it looks like your image keeps going, but this is your focal point, your spotlight in the center. I just made a frame and stamped some of the words from the set in Versamark and then heated them with the white embossing powder. But as you could see, you know, you got more space. You could add, it could have come out further. Every single one of these will be a unique, different project for you. So I'm thinking I'm going to go this way and do it sideways again, and then put a ribbon around this way so that I kind of cover up some of, I got a lot of space there. Or I could stamp another partial flower and fill in that space. I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp, fill it in. So I will show you what I end up with at the end of the video. So this is how my card ended up. I just want to give you a little sample of that. So there you go. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope it was easy enough to follow along. I didn't want to have you guys sit through all the steps, so I did obviously stop and start the video. But if you have any questions, just give me a shout. You know, I'm here to help. And that's it. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, and thanks for your support. Bye, guys.